Welcome to the second video about my Coloring Haven magazines. This one has art by Fabiana Trere. I admire her art already for a long time. I followed her since she published books by her own as a publisher, but it was difficult to get them in Ukraine, logistically, delivery, so I just looked and admired her line art and colored pictures by other colorists, and finally I now have the whole magazine with Fabiana Trere art, and here we have illustrations to the Little Mermaid. Well, a little bit late for Mermaid, but you know that I love to color Mermaid through the whole year. And you know, when I got the magazine, I didn't know, well, how it's possible to do 40 pictures to just one story. But I was surprised how nice, how original are all pictures here. Another very interesting thing is that illustrations, they have Indian taste. So the clothes, the jewelry, the hairstyle of many characters, and of course architectural elements, they were inspired by Indian culture, and it's so amazing because I really love amazing Indian buildings. They are so beautiful. I wish I could visit India one day. And I also follow several artists on Instagram who draw beautiful Indian designs of dresses, of jewelry. So finally I will be able to use some of their ideas for coloring these pictures. But well, let's have a look. Here we have Kingdom of Mermaid. Very nice mix of details of Indian architecture, mixed with seashells, with corals. Very lovely. When I realized that it's all about mermaids, I started to think which media I want to use for the backgrounds, because of course here we need to color water, ocean, and I was happy to find that actually the background area isn't that big, so even with pencils I will be able to do this background, but of course I intend to use a little bit of gouache or watercolor paint. Ink-tense pencils will work quite well here, and of course markers, because Coloring Haven, they are one-sided. Look at this beauty. Very nice faces. I always admired how Fabiana Trere depict people, how beautiful are all faces, and Mermaid is absolutely adorable. Look at the father king, so nice. Very good compositions. They don't feel overwhelmed, and in the same time they don't feel empty, so you are not intimidated by the empty backgrounds. It's so interesting that I collected already mermaids from so many artists, and I love them all. I love every time to discover new styles, how they depict mermaids. Very lovely. I promise that for the next mermaid I will do several pictures from this one. She has such a beautiful eyes. I hope that I will manage to color her properly. And I love dark characters. You know that I already colored Mermaid story in Dark Fairy Tales by Crook. There I did first page with witch, and that's another page with witch. That's how Fabiana Trere imagined witch. She's gorgeous. She's definitely a witch, but look at all those tentacles like octopus parts. Look at the jewelry, so nice. And makeup, of course. Another one, even more gorgeous, because here we can see the full body. Very lovely. I think that maybe it will be one of the first pictures which I will do in this book. And look at this beautiful building, again, Indian palace. I hope that I will manage to look at reference pictures and to color it, maintaining the Arabian Indian style. Look at the beautiful clothes. I really would love to have more coloring books where we can color Indian clothes, Indian jewelry. So I was crazy happy when I discovered that it's not only a mermaid fairy tale, but also depicted in Indian style. Look at the beautiful prints. Very lovely. I know that Fabiana, she is able to draw amazing flowers, and I was happy to find some of them also for decorating the mermaid. This one is also lovely. I remember a similar subject in Krug book. It was interesting to color that one, so I also want to do this page by Fabiana Trere. Very lovely, tragic story of love, story which I always was interested in. So another amazing coloring magazine. And number 5, it's magazine where we have designs by Jash. I have one book by Jash. My book is about Greek gods and goddesses by depicted in Asian style, also very interesting mix, like in previous book Mermaid in Indian style. And my Jash book he created very interesting interpretation of Greek gods and goddesses. But my problem with that book is thin paper and, well, some strange reaction to the paper from my markers. Of course, I will be coloring it. I just was slightly surprised by this thing, so I just need to decide which other media I can use if paper reacts so strange for markers. So we have 40 designs of animals and mythical hybrids from Filipinian artist Jash. I already saw how beautifully Jash could depict animals, because in those gods and goddesses, several pictures, they already have animals. So of course I was very happy to see the full collection of animals. And you know, the first 2 pages with armadillo and with axolotl, they immediately sold me this magazine. I immediately fall in love because they are so interesting. If axolotl we can find in several mythographic books, no one draw poor armadillo, and it's such an interesting and cute creature. So their hybrids, they also very interesting. But as I promised myself to color during summertime more of animals to improve my skills in doing different animals, different birds, of course I was extremely happy to find that I can add this magazine to my pile of books with animals. But now let's have a look at the hybrids. Very interesting. It's a mix of, I don't know, it's not kind of manga style, but definitely with Asian style clothes. Some of them have even steampunk type of clothes, so very nice. As usual, Jash characters, they have beautiful faces. And it's interesting that here we have more delicate lines. They are more gray. Definitely what I prefer, especially when you need to color fur, when you need to color faces. I prefer very thin, even grayish lines. So Coloring Haven publishers here did a great work. I also think that for many of these pictures, media like ink tents or gouache could be used. So I definitely want to use something apart from my traditional Prismacolor and Polychromos pencils. I have so many lovely art supplies. I hope that because picture is one-sided, even if paper isn't very thick, so I still will be able to vary art supplies from markers to ink tents to light layer of watercolor, at least for underpaint. Look at this interesting picture with octopus. I love octopuses, so I want to color it. Lovely peacocks. Piranha. I was really happy to find that not only cute, fluffy, sweet animals we can find here, but also some creatures which we usually don't find very attractive, but actually it could be very interesting to color them. This one is beautiful. Here's the hybrids. The lady's face is very nice, and I love her clothes. Very beautiful. This one is also quite gorgeous. Storks, another huge surprise. Storks are such a strange, amazing, and rarely seen creatures in our coloring books. So, and sloth. Look at these faces. Jash is amazing artist. So not only for people but also for animals. Squirrels. Who doesn't love squirrels? Look at this body positive whale hybrid. She's so lovely. And this one, it's wolf family, and maybe she's a wolf empress. I love everything here. I imagine dark background, and then those gray wolves, they will look very nice. Well, I hope that I will have more luck with this book by Jash. And yes, it's a hint for me to also look back at Goddesses by Jash, because pictures are gorgeous just to resolve problems with paper, and I also want to color in it more frequently. I think that the both magazines are amazing, and well, I hope that very soon I will present you my first works here. Thanks for watching, and until the next videos.